Maya had learned to walk slowly through her neighborhood because in a small town you notice things: a bent fence post, a forgotten bicycle, the way the light falls on a late afternoon stoop. That day she noticed a thin shadow by the market wall, a dog so small and ragged it might have been mistaken for a heap of cloth, if not for the way it watched her with an insistence that pulled at something she tried not to name. She crouched down and the dog moved closer, but not like a stray begging for bread, like a guardian asking for help. Its fur hung in mats, its ribs were a road map beneath yellowed hair, and one eye blinked slowly, as if it had learned to measure kindness before risking trust. Maya followed when it turned away, not sure whether she was following the dog or the need inside her own chest, and the path led through a back garden to a low shuttered shed, where the smell of damp and old straw hit her like a memory. Inside, under a pile of filthy blankets, were 4 tiny bodies pressed together, so small they could have fit into the palm of a hand. They breathed thin, uneven breaths that made Maya's fingers go cold. The mother pressed herself around them and whined a sound that felt like an apology and a plea at once. She had no papers, no collar, nothing to tell where she had come from, only a fierce, raw courage to keep what remained against all odds. Maya wrapped the shivering bundles into her scarf and ran, the mother limping by with the stubborn duty of someone who had decided that the future still mattered. At the clinic, the doctor worked like someone reading a map she had to redraw: fluids, warmth, careful cupping of ribs that should have been full. One puppy's heart slowed to a hush, and then, after a stretch of minutes that bent time, found rhythm again like a twig catching a current. Night settled with the smell of antiseptic and a thin blanket over a chair where Maya dozed, waking to the tiny dance of recovery, eyes opening, a tentative lick, a wax so slight it was almost a promise. They moved to her small apartment when the vet said sunlight would do what medicine could not entirely: soften the past into a story rather than a chain. Months folded into themselves like pages, baths that revealed the shine beneath the dirt, food that grew into playful hunger, nights of nervous pacing that softened into quiet trust. The mother, who Maya named Rosa because the first light that found her smelled faintly of the garden where Maya had found her, learned to rest her head on Maya's knee without scanning exits. Once, a man came to the door with a heavy voice claiming ownership, brandishing an old leash and older lies. His words were meant to take the small family back into the places from which they had been rescued. Rosa rose between Maya and the stranger like a wall of weathered stone, no show of teeth, no barking, only the stillness of someone who knew exactly what would be stolen. The man left with a shrug and a muttered curse, and the puppies tumbled back into a heap of laughing mouths and flailing paws, as if the world could be reduced to warmed bodies and full bellies and the bravery to begin again. In the small soft hours, when the city was a hush of refrigerators and distant car lights, Maya would watch them sleep and know that the single small decision to follow a pleading shadow had rewired her life in a way that could not be undone.